Oh, no, that's the wrong way around. No, that should be connecting to... Okay. Okay, right. I'll just have to store this wire in the workshop. Because that's how that works. Because that has to be connected up to the power line, not the actual thing above. Oh, but do we have enough power to even make that function? That's another thing. You actually have to have a level of power. Let's just stick a big ass industrial generator that generates 45 power. I'm pretty sure that'll be enough. I'm gonna hope that's enough. If I'm honest. Where am I hooking this up to again? Oh yeah, that. There we go. So that should be enough. Oh, because it goes through the first switch, does turning that one off turn that one on? No, that one doesn't even get power. What? Is that because... Are they not connected properly? I thought they were connected. They are connected. And there was enough power. Oh no, they are not connected. Oh, this poses an issue. What about if I move it to there? Maybe, so it's actually on the in the gap. I'm trying to get it onto that corner preferably. Because that way I can actually sort of thread the cable through properly. There we go. But that still isn't supplying power for some reason. That wire that I'm connecting isn't existing. Am I going to have to put a generator in here? I really don't want to do that. I really wanted to have it like, you know, an actual use for that crap outside, but... Nope, we're going to have an actual generator in here to actually generate power to keep the door open. Which is kind of dumb. It's nice that I can sort of move that wherever I need to put it though. That's cool. And now I can open and close the doors separately, so I can keep that door shut most of the time. Because that door's not going to need to be open. Is it radiation storm or something? Yeah, looks like it. And then I can close that door, and it's double sealed. There we go. That's the door done for this base side. So that generator's kind of cool. I think I'm actually going to put a chair down and sort of wait it out so it's daytime. Because as much as it doesn't really bother me building at night, I know it's not going to be super easy to see on YouTube. So I'm just going to put a chair down and these leaves. There you go, it's a nice aeroplane seat, and there's a bottle of Nuka-Cola cherry right there. Oh god, picking up the Nuka-Cola cherry and I can move. Wow. Wow, okay. Right, I'm gonna, you know, do all the normal stuff and... Okay guys, hello, we're back. It's fucking acid rain, which is lovely. It has this really nice blurry effect to the screen. You know, I really like that weather mod. It's a real pain in the backside when you're trying to do recording. And your screen looks like this. But yeah, I've had a sort of an idea of how I want to actually build this, because most of the time with these builds, other than the airship, which I had a base plan laid out in my head already, like the house and stuff, I just built. Like, there was no design plan, there was no sort of base I was going off, I was just building and sort of using the ideas I had in my head. Well, with this one, I'm doing the same thing, but this time I've actually got a sort of a plan laid out, rather than just winging it, essentially, which is what I was doing before, because I've just had an idea. The only problem is the build menu is bugged out again. Okay, there we go. So we're actually going to create steps up here. They're not going to be these sort of steps, and I just pressed E twice, which just created a staircase I don't need. But what we're going to do is essentially create steps down. So this wall will actually go all the way up to the top of there, and then go across, and then go down a block, and then continue to do that so far down until it levels out with the wall as it currently is. Now, the idea with that is essentially creating something that looks much more impressive, and also it sort of allows me to keep the idea I was thinking about doing, with having the walls as high as that, but not having the walls as high as that, if that makes sense. essentially is going to make it look less stupid, hopefully. The only issue is that this ramp is in a really dumb place, and it means that all of the walls are now in a dumb place. So I need to move. There we go. It was like half a block forwards for some reason, which is quite irritating. But I'm just going to build it 2 out that way and then move the staircase up. Come on, staircase. Snap to the right level, staircase. The Fallout build system is both lovely and irritating. Like, I'm still undecided on it, if I'm honest. Like, I like it in some aspects, and then in others, the build system is just kind of meh. Meh. It's not good. You know, it's not good. I guess you can't make it perfect, but I mean they could. They could if they spent a real long time fixing all of the fidgetiness of it. Because as you can see, I can perfectly see what was in front of me right then. No, I couldn't whatsoever. You know, like, this build system is incredibly fidgety. That's really my own complaint about it anymore, because I don't know, it seems like most of the issues I had with it sort of aren't there anymore, although nothing's changed, so I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's a really awkward but also cool build system, I think, so I love it and I hate it at the same time. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. I think I'm going to do it down in 2s, so I need to actually get one on that level, otherwise it's not going to work, because that level is already set to the right height. So 2 this way, and drop down, and then I need to put 1 there to preserve that height, because otherwise it will sort of reset it essentially. Is that back down to normal height? There you go. I think that sort of works. It sort of works quite nicely, although everything is green and wavy, so it's kind of difficult probably for you guys to see. I'm going to go all the way around. Is that water going green as well? That's kind of cool. But there we go, sort of creates a gradient down, and then I could also put steps on these, because I was actually going to make this entire bit essentially like a walkway that you know, like spectators can walk around on. Which obviously are going to be like settlers, probably. There are currently no settlers here because, well, this is a blank save and I haven't even placed a settlement beacon here. Nor has Preston told me to come here on this save. I don't think he has any, although he hadn't, because I haven't got a quest to come here. And I do have a quest from Preston because I checked the quest log. Which is nice. There are a lot of god saves on the Nexus. Like, if you're coming from console, and you don't want to start from scratch, and you don't want to mess around with the console currently, like you just kind of want to screw around with mods, and you don't really know how to use the console, then, I mean, there are so many, like, god saves that you can just use that are already on the Nexus for you. I found one that was, essentially at the end of the game, but was at a point where you could still choose between any of the factions. So, you know, if you wanted to do a specific run, then you can, or, you know, you want to keep the save that you essentially had from the console game, you could do it with that sort of god save, essentially. But you are still going to need to use the console in most of them if you want to get your exact character, because the character I downloaded, I've actually customized this one. So, you know, the original character, I think, was a dude called, like, Nicholas or something, and he had the silver shroud gear and a bandana and things, and I've sort of changed my character up, using a few different console commands. So, for a start, it's no longer a dude. It's still called Nicholas, though. I can't actually change the name. I think you can. I'm not exactly sure what the... Damn. I'm not sure what the console command is for changing the name. Or if you actually can, because I know you can open the, essentially the start menu, but it doesn't like to change the name. Not that I've seen, anyway. There's multiple different types of the character creation menu, and I haven't played around with all of them, so I don't know. Maybe one of them does, although I haven't seen it, so I'm gonna assume probably not. So, you know, my character's stuck being called Nicholas, although I think it's Nicholas. but, you know, happens to be a chick. It'll probably see her. She might even be in the thumbnail. I don't. If I'm honest, I haven't thought that far ahead. I just kind of wanted to build some cool arena thing in Fallout. But, I think this is the base of the arena bit done. Obviously I want to have steps going up here, and this, like, entire top area is still covered in things. There are, like, contents being dumped in the workshop and things. Like, I haven't even come up here. Like, you can tell because there's just stuff all over here. If you remember the start of the star, like, build, there was nothing, like, anywhere. Because I literally cleared off everything. Whereas this one I'd clear it off all manually because it wasn't already pre-done. Like, I had to do it in my own save as well the first time, but I was trying to find a save that had everything pre-done that didn't. There are also some really cool saves on Nexus that just have cool buildings on them. I think we need the ratings on this level, but, you know, just a little interjection there. But yeah, there are some really cool just buildings on the Nexus that people have already, like, made. That if you just wanted a cool starting house, maybe, if you're coming over from Gaza, or you just want a cool starting house, I don't complain you for having, you know, for wanting to have a cool house, because, you know, you might not want to spend all this time building something that you're going to spend like 5 minutes in. You might just want a cool looking house that you come back to every once in a while. Because I know for one that, especially in Skyrim, I just, you know, use my house as essentially a dumping ground to stick all the random crap in that I wasn't carrying currently. I really like the idea of these, but they're not really going to work, are they? Because I don't think it's going to work. Do they snap onto these? Wow, these railings are really awkward. Like, what's with the... I don't get why all of the things added by this mod, not mod, sorry, the DLC are just really fidgety. Like, I've got, what, like 20 different mods that add new building things to the game? None of them are this fidgety. Like, seriously. Why is the one made by Bethesda the one that's the most fidgety to use? Like, I've got entire, like, essentially expansions worth of extra building materials added by mods that aren't as fidgety as this. Like, why is that specific corner piece so awkward? And also we need to put one on this side as well. I don't get it. Why is that more awkward to use than any of the other stuff? I don't know, I guess curves are kind of new, so that makes sense that they're kind of fidgety, because this is the first out of the base game stuff that everyone has access to that has this curvature to them, because all the other base stuff is kind of, it's either rectangles or squares, which, I mean, is kind of cool anyway. But I kind of I like the curvature things, that's why I kind of want them in the corners so you can sort of look over. But yeah, these are going to be the sort of the spectator bits up here. I think we're going to make these go one back, maybe just a half block back instead of a full one back. But essentially this entire area is going to be railings all the way across, and then there's going to be a staircase up to that ramp, and then up to that one, up to that one, up to the top maybe. Although I could keep them on this level, I might actually keep them on this level.